What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mayroy Music, and you are watching Interview, a live discussion. Do me a huge favor. Do me a huge favor and scroll down my FB page and check out the post I made about prayer. Make sure to leave a comment. Also, take some time to hit like, share, follow, subscribe, and don't forget to say hi to me in the comments. And I will see you after the intro. What's up, y'all? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Interview. Tonight, you are going to learn a little more about my life as a musician. We're going to talk about how I got started, some struggles that I had that I ran across, and I'm going to answer some viewer questions. If you are wanting to come on and ask me any questions, let me know in the comment section. I will drop the link and you can come on and ask me a question. You can get off or you can stay on and we can talk about it. All right. As I stated at the beginning of this video, if you haven't taken time to respond to my post about prayer that I made earlier today, please take some time to do so. I would really like to hear your perspective. I'm not always right, and I don't think I'm always right. Sometimes you guys give me insight. All right. Let's get started. Hang on. I want to do this. All right, let's get started. My dad saw it first. So I've always been drawn to music and the arts. My happy turned on when I heard music, when I saw colorful pictures, when I saw people dancing. Cartoons lit me up for sure. Anything artsy. My brother, he drew, he sang, he played an instrument, and he drew. So I wanted to be like that, and he was good at it. So I wanted to be like him. So I started to do that. I was automatically drawn to that. I took karate and ballet. As a child, as a teenager. Some of y'all didn't know that. I took karate, ha ha ha, oh, what? And ballet. Go to my TikTok, you'll see some of my ballet skills, some of my dancing skills. Not very good. As a child and in school, music and art were my straight A subjects and my straight A classes. I failed the gym. Let's have a moment of silence for me failing gym. Because I wasn't doing all that. I wasn't doing all that running and jumping up and climbing a wall and climbing a rope and throwing. I'm not doing all that. Give me some colored pencils and a piece of paper and I will draw the whole world. But I'm not about to do a whole lot of running and skipping. Anyway, thank you. I was in church choir, I was in performance choir, and I was also in competition choir in high school. I lettered in band in my junior year. All of this was going on. I was becoming popular in school at Newton D. or at John Marshall in Cleveland, Ohio, And all of a sudden, all this happened right when my mother passed. Shit got rough after that. I was about 13 years. It wasn't my junior year, it was my 10th grade year. But my mother lived 2 years. So during all of that, I was getting popular and all that because everybody knew my mother. My mother was like she was like a city council person, and an activist in the neighborhood. So everybody knew her. She had some death threats. Some people threw a brick through our house on Christmas. We had a big window. They threw a brick through our house. We got phone calls. It was all of that kind of stuff. Some of the stuff you see in TV, that's kind of how it was. And then 2 years when I got to my junior year, no, when I graduated sophomore year, going into my junior year, she passed away. I was 13 years old. Hmm. I was 13 years old. Give me just a second. Okay, there it is. All right. Let's take a moment for a musical moment.
This is my story. This is my song. I'm gonna be praising my Savior. All the day long. This is my story. Oh, this is my song.
Oh, there we go. That was Daryl Coley. Oh, hold on, y'all. That was Daryl Coley singing "Blessed Assurance." I remember one Sunday morning in Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I was raised, at the Zion Chapel Missionary Baptist Church on Lee Road, Harvard and Lee, in Cleveland, Ohio, at a morning service. The choir was singing. If you go to my YouTube, I think I have some clips of that. Or if you scroll down on my Facebook page, you should see some of that. Um, the choir sang, the preacher preached, and the musicians played. I was so intrigued by the sound of the instruments playing together and by the way the people were playing them. So my eyes and ears were fixed and my brain was on record mode, even as a kid. I was listening to sounds. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it. If I tried to explain to you all what it's like for me when I play or hear music, you all would think I am truly crazier than y'all think I already am. So I ain't gonna even try to describe it. But I was so intrigued of the sound of the instruments playing together and by the way the people played them. Everyone had left the church. They had left the sanctuary at the time after service. After service, everybody scatters. And so I went up to the piano and I started playing. Well, my father heard me, and a year later, after we moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which I hated every minute of it, he bought me a keyboard for my birthday. That was the day my life changed. He later put me in, or he tried to put me in piano lessons, but my teacher said that um, my ear was too good, that she couldn't teach me because my ear was too good. She made the mistake of playing the songs first and then having me play behind her. So I took the books home and I finished teaching myself whatever I could understand at that age and with all that was going on because my father remarried this lady who was evil. Evil. Don't even get me started. because my video would get banned if I got started on her. What was I talking about? Let's move on. After I graduated high school, I moved to Kansas. Immediately, I was 16 years old, and I continued to teach myself how to read music. I went to Cincinnati Music and all these other music stores, bought some books from the kids' grade all the way up to professional, whatever, and I taught myself how to read music. When I got to the point where I couldn't go any further, I enrolled myself in the music program at WSU, and I took some private lessons. Private lessons were great because it was one-on-one. I could ask questions, easier than I could in a classroom setting from a professor. Doesn't make any sense to anybody. I learned a lot. My music teacher was Miss Ingram here in Wichita, Kansas. I can't remember the lady's name in Oklahoma. The problem was, though, that I would take the music. Miss Ingram would teach me so well in class that I would take the music books home and I would learn the rest of the lessons in the book in one night. Granted, when I came back, she would have to correct some stuff, but stop it, get my cat. But she was my first music teacher here in Wichita, Kansas. When I started, the furthest thing from my mind was becoming a minister of music, let alone becoming an employee of a church. I admired those that mastered it greatly, but I was afraid. But the angelic sound of the choir kept calling me. I enjoyed the idea of playing for a group of singers and hearing the different instruments and vocal melodies and arrangements coagulate into one beautiful masterpiece. But being in complete control of a group of people week after week and having to prepare a fully detailed rehearsal and learn song after song, week after week, month after month, year after year, lifetime after lifetime, just to deal with the attitudes and half-ass singing was not a part of my plans. I should have stayed in ballet class and karate. Oops. What was I like as a minister of music? Oh. Sorry, y'all. I'm new at this. What was I like as a minister of music? Well, some people, I don't know, y'all tell me, what do you think I was like as a minister of music? What do y'all think I was like as a minister of music? Tell me in the comments so I can put it up. I'm just kidding. I mean, you can tell me in the comments. Let me know, because I would like to know. Because some people say that I was mean. Some say that I was strict. Some say that I was very, But I say that I was very focused. I will agree with strict, but I had a vision and I was determined to show the people I was leading what I saw inside of them. When they, oh Lord, I got somebody. We got a comment. Oh, Jesus. What was I like as a minister? Hello, Tamara Biggs Anderson from Florida. She said I was mean. She wouldn't know, y'all. That's my coworker. She's my surrogate coworker. I worked at her job and she worked at my job surrogately. That's what some people say, Tamara. I was not mean. But when the people realized, when they realized what I was trying to bring out of them and then they acted accordingly, it showed. They sang, each choir that I've ever been a part of, and I'm not saying this because I was so great, but because of the collective efforts of everybody, they listened to me and followed my leadership. It sounded beautiful. Beautiful. In the beginning, and so this was something else that I did as a leader and it started at Paradise. In the beginning at Paradise, I had all of my music leaders, all the music ministry leaders fasting for 6 months, 3 months, 6 months at a time, 3 months on, 3 months off, 6 months on, 6 months off at a time. And we had certain things that we prayed about. We each had a list. This is when I was really into church. We had a list of things about 3 or 4 things that we were to fast and pray about. We had a certain time frame that we had to do it, and it was very detailed, and spiritually tapped in. Um, there were a lot of things we did as a team that made leading much more rewarding and fun. And there was not a lot of attitudes at the beginning. But when things started growing, the choir started sounding like they wanted it to sound, and we were sounding like angels in my description. Problems and egos showed up. I thought that everybody that went to church, and even those who were on the frontline leadership duty, were living the life that they sang and preached about. That's what we say in church, ain't it? That's what people preach about. I was so wrong. I was taught you can't teach what you're not living. So once I found myself in leadership, especially music leadership, I made some adjustments. I made some adjustments that I thought would enhance, the singers, the music ministry, and make the church in a whole, and make us more effective as a choir and a church in the community and in our city. I quickly learned the opposite. You can come on in. In the beginning, I tried to lead by example. I tried to always be prepared to present my rehearsal agenda effectively and concisely. Amen. I used to have a Bible study prepared that talked about whatever the songs were I was going to do in rehearsal. I remember Steve Jones used to do that back at Tabernacle a long time ago. The music ministers back in the day used to do that kind of stuff. We don't do that no more. I tried to give vocal education and preparation, like voice lessons, things that they could do at home, breathing techniques, how to shape your mouth. If you were ever in a rehearsal, you always heard me say, shape your mouth. I would always do this. It seemed choir members became disinterested, and or I should say, soon it seemed choir members and the church became disinterested, and eventually I started to separate myself from people. Not in judgment, though, but I thought that I had to steal away, in order to hear from God, not understanding that I was alienating people who probably needed me, if you all understand what I'm saying, or they may have held me in some type of high regard. No ego here, y'all. I also started reading the Bible a little more and getting deeper into the meaning of certain things, and my eyes were open, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see. Ain't that strange though? Like, just in a short time of me being in leadership, I learned how to mistreat people and mishandle people because I was taught, once again, in church, you can't sing the word if you don't know the word, and you don't know the word unless you read the word. And how can and what is the scripture talking about? How can they something if they have a near and hear? I don't know. I ain't read the Bible in a minute. I had some strict rules that in part were derived from the request of the leadership that I was under. For example, I was told that the pastors, that I was under, wanted everybody to sing in the mass choir if you were going to sing in any other choir. You couldn't sing in no other choir unless you sang in the mass choir. You know what I mean? A couple of churches said that each choir member had to be in a word ministry, Sunday school, Bible study, women's, or whatever was going on at the time. You had to sing in the mass choir in order to sing in any other choir, and a whole lot more. It was a lot. It was very detailed. As time went on, I happened upon a group of local singers. Hang on, let me get this prepared for you. Oh my goodness. Y'all hang on. This thing is going like it want to go and ain't. All right. I happened upon a group of singers who were a huge part of the GMWA Gospel Music Workshop of America's Sunflower Chapter, and my eyes were open and my music career and knowledge expanded quickly. I became one of the musicians and for the local chapter and began putting time into my local craft and my local choir and the community choirs, such as the MLK choir with Anthony Welch. I don't know who it was before him. I can't remember who that was. But of course, the GMWA, the Black Arts Festival. Remember when the Black Arts Festival was at WSU, y'all? That was amazing. I missed that. We had so much going on then. I digress. I became one of the musicians and learning my craft and the professionalism that it takes and was expected with religious music. I was determined to play like those I heard playing at the GMWA. If you've all ever gone to that, you know what that's like, especially if you're a musician. What were some of your struggles? Oof. I've never been able to understand why or how other people's time and efforts don't matter when it comes to choir rehearsal. Like my largest complaint against choir members is they don't respect choir rehearsal. They don't respect the rehearsal. Like if rehearsal is set at 6 o'clock, I'm starting at 6 o'clock. Period. I'm starting straight up at 6 o'clock. And if we covered songs you missed because you was late, oh well, you shouldn't have been late. You should have been there on time. I'm not covering songs and keeping people there longer than expected because you was late. That's not my job. There are no exceptions. There were no exceptions, and there will never be any exceptions on that. And you want to come late to rehearsal, half singing and catching attitude with me because of your bad day and your disrespect. I start on time, and I'm not going over nothing if you were late. No exceptions. And I think everybody who has a choir, who's over a choir, should have that rule planted. Planted. If you're not on time, you miss out what we covered. I'm not going over anything. And that includes business, prayer, the sick and shut in list. I don't care what it is. If you late, you miss it. Catch somebody after rehearsal. As I stated above previously, the disrespect of my time and effort and organization is one major issue because I was putting time into that. Like when I said I separated myself, I kid you not, there were just few people that I hung around and I was really reading the Bible. I was into it. Anyway, we don't want to get into the things that I was studying. But the disrespect of time, that's a big one for me. A few others would be having to find and learn a lot of music in a short amount of time. Anybody can relate? Raise your hand. Oh, I got a comment. I'm sorry, y'all. I got caught up. Let's see. Pastor Derlin says, the scripture you say, can you repeat it again? Good evening and Happy New Year. Hey, Happy New Year. I'm not sure. It was something about, I don't even remember. He that hath an ear, let him hear. How can he hear except he be sent? Something like that. He said, put your weight on it. Pastor Derlin says, yes, because we be showing up raggedy and say we love Jesus. Woohoo. Dude, don't even get me started. But at the beginning, I was eager to learn as many songs as I possibly could. You know, one of my biggest influences were Milton Brunson, of course, Ricky Dillard, Hezekiah Walker, Orlando Draper, Thomas Whitfield. Musicians, listen to Thomas Whitfield. You ain't gonna be, if you're starting out, you ain't gonna be able to play it. So get mad, but don't stop listening. You need to listen to Thomas Whitfield. Yeah, you do. I wanted to give people the tools that I learned at the GMWA that they could take back to their churches and be able to add to their home services and be effective in their home services. I quickly learned they were not as accepting and supportive as I thought people would be or as I expected them to be. There were a few churches that understood and allowed me to do what I knew to do. From those churches, this city has a few excellent musicians that were born from my training, and I am very proud of them. I'm not going to call their names. They know who they are. Y'all don't need to know. Why am I being so aggressive? The second thing that I had that was some of my struggles was the lack of pastoral support and choir participation. In the beginning, it was cool. The pastors was all for it. Everybody loved the music department, not necessarily me, but the music department together and the songs they were singing. Number one, possibly because it was somebody new over it. Secondly, we were singing new songs because they probably been singing them same songs since Jesus got off the cross. You know what I mean? They were getting some education. It was a new experience. But congregations love me and I love them. My largest issue were the pastors and choir members. I later discovered there were side pieces and favorites involved, and they were jealous. And some of them probably watch. Sorry. And so when the side piece didn't like a song, or when the side piece wasn't allowed to sing because of choir rules or because it wasn't their Sunday to sing, it wasn't a song, they would run to the pastor, and of course, he would cave in. Now, I was not, nor have I ever been afraid of a side piece or a pastor's wife who was a spoiled brat wife with a punk ass pastor husband. I have cussed out several, and I will do it again. Just saying, putting that out there, y'all. If this is God, and this is my reason why, if this is God's church and we're supposed to be doing God's work, why in the hell is it so difficult to do his work with his people? I shouldn't have to fight side pieces or side holes about doing God's work. And I shouldn't have to force pastors to see that. Anyway, that let me know that pastors have no control in their churches. Churches are ran by money, influence, and side coochie. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all mad at me. Let's keep going. Your question. Would you ever come back to it? Ooh, now that is a very good question. We'll have another, and I'll answer that right after this. Oh, that's what I get for trying to sneak out of it. I'll be right back after these messages. All right. Would I ever come back to it? I don't think the church is able to adjust to the mindset that people are in right now. Like the way of thinking, people are thinking deeper than what we've been taught. I ain't trying to offend nobody, but they're asking deeper questions about what we've been taught, trying to get some understanding. You know what I mean? It's deeper than the traditional in 3 days. You know, he got up. All of that. People are looking for more, and the church is very narrow-minded to me. The expectations, professionally speaking, are way too high for the amount of time we put in and the money that we don't get paid. The joy I had about it in the past is gone, kind of. It's very small. It's very minimal. It's minute. You can get a magnifying glass, and I don't know if you're gonna find it. Pastor says, "Lord have mercy. Thank God that I'm not doing that because you are telling the truth, Darlene. You already know. You already know." Now I can say this, but what I can say is this: I think I would be able to sing in the choir or whatever, but I'm not willing to play or be obligated to an instrument or a position unless I'm, I ain't gonna even say paid because I don't even want to do it if I'm paid. Like long-term type stuff, that's not what I want to do. That's not in my DNA anymore. Now, filling in every now and then, I still don't want to do it. But if I was going to be a part of a music ministry, of course, I would commit, and I will definitely cut it out. before you make me cuss on camera again. That daggum cat. I would be willing to do it, but we would have to talk. That's all I'm going to say. We'd have to negotiate and have a really deep conversation about it. I do not want to go through the mistreatment that I don't want to go through the mistreatment that comes with that position. You know what I mean? Like, my beliefs about church have changed. My beliefs about religion and God have evolved. I hope y'all can understand and accept that. The only thing I miss, though, one thing I do miss is directing, playing, and singing with people who enjoy each other first and then enjoy singing together and expressing that. I like to see people be happy when they sing. I watch some of y'all's lives and I'm like, I ain't going to nowhere near y'all's church. Y'all look so pissed off and unhappy. Y'all look constipated. It's backed up. Stop eating cheese because you backed up. You mean. But drama free is what it needs to be for me. I also miss the freedom of time that I had to like create original music, practice, and plan workshops and seminars, get in touch with people from our different states, and plan something to come together. All that, the convention type things. I miss all of that. But then there came a time where that excitement ended. So to answer your question, would I come back to it? It's not a desire I have to return to that type of a commitment. However, if I had a competent staff, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't, and if I had a competent staff and I wouldn't have to play unless I wanted to, I would be more willing to consider it. Good question. Next viewer question: what made you stop? Viewer question: what made you not like church? All right, I'm going to answer those in a couple seconds. We have another. Okay. Let's see. We have another comment. Man, we need to talk. Yes, yes, our expectations are high, but our living has been very low to low for what we expect from others. Whoa, okay. Wow. Hold on. Let's read that again. Yes, our expectations are high, but our living, I even say our way of living, has been very low for what we expect from others. Speak, Pastor Brown. People have not been for what is right, but more for who they like. Oh, woo. Favoritism, y'all. We talked about that. It was up there a minute ago. I will get with you. Love you, man. All right, you too. What made me stop and what made me not like church? It's not the fact that I don't like church. Ooh, y'all, it's deeper than, I don't know how much time and how much heart y'all got for this, because y'all gonna get offended. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's not that I don't like church. It's that I don't like, number one, the reason religion was organized. I ain't getting into that tonight. All I'm gonna say is because of money, like I said earlier, money, power, and control of the people. Yet I digress. But here, let me just read what I got. This is a scripted show. That is a great question, and one that I do get asked almost on a daily at work, at the grocery store, if you see me. It's not that I don't like church. It's the selective accountability, the favoritism, the double talk, the gaslighting, the ghosting, even the condemning of the gays and not condemning the whorish leadership, the adulterous leadership, the stuff we sweep under the rug, but we want to point other people out for living life. I'm not saying they right. I ain't saying they wrong. I'm saying they're living their life. Just like the whole pastors living their life, sticking it in everything. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. I'm trying to do right. Who still have, and let me say, these whorish pastors still have their side pieces serving in the church while the first ladies, the wives, have to sit there smiling in the name of Jesus, praising in the name of the Lord. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to go through this. What made you stop? What made you? Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. um. Meanwhile, after church, when she's on her way to work, the first lady cries in the car every time she's by herself because she knows she's being played in her face and made a fool of in front of the entire church community. But y'all want to call out people for getting pregnant, or y'all want to judge somebody because they work at a low-paying job, they tithe ain't over 100,000, or whatever the going amount is. I gave $1. You judging folks. Life is life and people are people. What about the other shit that the Bible talks about? The lack of leadership and integral Christian accountability is what did it for me. It hasn't stopped and it never will, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. All right, well, my ending comments. Because I know y'all think that I'm just upset and mad at the church and church hurt. Somebody said that to me the other day. I wanted to cuss them smooth. And I'm going to let y'all live in that. I know with the truth, y'all say I'm church hurt. Fine, I'm church hurt. But I am very grateful for the musical journey I've had all these years. The people that I was going to go through and start naming people who have influenced me. For example, I'm going to start like Stefan Daly is one. Mark Clark is a huge one. Keith Norris, people don't even know, is one. Oh my God, what is his name? Not James. Frank Williams and his brother. I think it is James Williams. I can't remember his name. Y'all know him. Irish, you know him. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Stan Lee, Sharon Ingram, Mother at the Grant Chapel. That's my mother there. I love her. Oh, we got a couple comments. Jaquita said, Roy! Yes, ma'am. Well, I'll be damned, Tranisha. I'm sorry, Tranisha. I told you when I saw you, it was coming. We know Keith Norris. Yes, Keith Norris was he was a huge, those people that I named. Did I say Steve Jones as well? Absolutely, Steve Jones. James Williams. Yes, James Williams. Curiosity says hi. Oh, I'll give her a hug for me. There's another dude. I'm even going to say Anthony Welch was one. There's a whole lot of people. I shouldn't even have started. All right, you're calling out legends. Exactly. They're the ones who influence my musical mind and my musical structure, if that makes sense, my leadership structure. You made me get lost. I've learned so much that I wouldn't have otherwise. I was able to glean, as I just stated, about some of the people that we talked about, for just a little bit from some of the masters of their craft on national and local levels. I am on FAQ.com as a legitimate songwriter for the 1992 song Glorify the Lord, as recorded by the local GMW, the Wichita Sunflower Chapter, the local GMWA Sunflower Chapter. I have several original songs written and copyrighted. For this, I owe my father everything for seeing the gift in me. Oh, I lost my space. Before he passed, I had the opportunity to express that to him. And I saw the smile on his face and the pride in his heart. And that was something that I wanted to tell him for a long time. And I'm glad I got that opportunity. Moreover, you all, where did I go there? Moreover, the Murrays. Oh, Denise Daniels. Yes, the Murrays. Of course, the Murrays. Y'all don't get me started. Do y'all remember the musicals at New Testament back in the day? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And I will say about the Murrays, I tried to get my choir to be that. The power they had back then, when they walked in, you knew, oh, it's like when your favorite friend walk in and you about to get in a fight, you like, oh, I ain't worried now. You know, the Murrays, when we saw New Testament come in under the Murrays, that's how it was. We was good. Whatever jumped off, we had it because the Murrays had it. I knew you was coming. Who said that? Tranisha. She said, I knew you was coming. I'm mad I'm late. I'm sorry, I posted about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before. Chiquita says, me too. Denise says, yes, fire. I mean, and then the way they open up their programs, I mean, that's the stuff that I was shooting for as a young musician. Y'all got me lost again. Okay, church. Church has a very powerful influence in people's lives. Hang on. The responsibility of leading people is heavy. And if you're not emotionally settled, stable, and prepared to treat everyone the same within your leadership, and or even deal with different personalities, I'm learning that in my job, in my leadership at my job, then I question your integrity and your values, and I suggest you see a therapist. I'm talking about if you're not emotionally settled and prepared to treat people the same within your leadership across the board, I question your integrity, your values, and I suggest you see a therapist. That is all I got, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to take some time to hit like, share, follow, subscribe, tag somebody, let them know that I'm on. I'm going to try to be doing this more once a week. But actually, I'm trying to do this like every few days. Give me something to talk about. Let me know. Send me a message to our messenger, or you can email it to me at interview, INNERVIEW, 2021@gmail.com. Until next time, I love you all for watching.
Happy being me. I'm regretting nothing about me. Nothing about me. Yeah. Too busy living life. This is my story. This is my song. I'm gonna be praising my Savior. Oh, the day long.